10 examples of what gaslighting sounds like. In a world where psychological awareness is increasingly paramount, the term gaslighting has emerged as a significant concept in understanding emotional abuse. Originating from Patrick Hamilton's 1939 stage play, Gaslight, the term describes a manipulative tactic where an individual, the gaslighter, makes a victim question their reality, memory, or perception. This subtle form of emotional abuse is often hard to recognize, yet its impact can be deeply damaging. In this comprehensive exploration, we delve into 10 quintessential examples of what gaslighting can sound like, aiming to illuminate this shadowy psychological phenomenon. 1. Denial of actions. What did I do to you? Imagine a situation where someone is confronted with their wrongdoing, but instead of owning up to it, they respond with a calculated display of ignorance, asking, "What did I do to you?" This seemingly innocent question is far more insidious. It's a strategic move. It constitutes a deliberate denial of their actions, a tactic aimed at planting seeds of doubt in the victim's mind. The gaslighter is acutely aware of their transgressions, yet they choose to feign ignorance, skillfully compelling the victim to question their own perception of the incident. This artful manipulation serves as a testament to the gaslighter's cunning ability to distort reality and control the narrative, leaving the victim bewildered and questioning their own judgment. 2. Victim blaming. Everyone around you isn't the problem is you. Gaslighting is a cunning manipulation technique that frequently revolves around shifting blame onto the victim. A striking instance of this is encapsulated in the phrase, "Everyone around you isn't the problem is you." This statement goes beyond being a mere accusation. It serves as a powerful tool to discredit the victim's emotions and experiences. What makes this tactic especially pernicious is its dual impact. It compels the victim to internalize guilt, fostering a sense of self-blame, while simultaneously isolating them from seeking external support. By portraying the victim as the root cause of their troubles, gaslighters effectively obstruct the victim's path to seeking assistance from friends, family, or professionals. It's a calculated move aimed at trapping the victim in a state of isolation, making them feel as though they have no recourse. This isolation not only exacerbates the victim's emotional distress but also serves to further the gaslighter's control over them. 3. The false apology. I'm sorry you feel that way. An apology is a profound gesture, signifying recognition of one's mistakes and genuine remorse. Yet, within the intricate world of gaslighting, the phrase, "I'm sorry you feel that way," takes on a deceptive role. It masquerades as an apology but is, in fact, a calculated ploy. It subtly shifts the blame from the gaslighter's actions to the victim's reactions, implying that the problem resides not in what the gaslighter did, but rather in how the victim perceives and responds to it. This manipulative tactic is a masterclass in evasion of responsibility, as it not only absolves the gaslighter of their wrongdoing but also plants seeds of doubt within the victim's psyche regarding their emotional reactions. In essence, this pseudo-apology is a tool for gaslighters to maintain control over the narrative, leaving the victim questioning their own emotions and the legitimacy of their feelings. It's a cold and calculated tactic aimed at destabilizing the victim's sense of self and reality. 4. Questioning memory. I don't remember saying that. I think you made that up. Within the sinister realm of gaslighting, manipulation of memory stands as a pivotal weapon. The phrase, "I don't remember saying that. I think you made that up," is a cunning instrument in the gaslighter's arsenal. Its purpose is clear: to erode the victim's confidence in their own memory. This calculated challenge to the accuracy of the victim's recollections is a strategic move by the gaslighter. It's a subtle power play designed to sow seeds of doubt and cultivate confusion. Gaslighters deftly exploit this tactic to maintain control over the narrative and the victim's perception of reality. By casting doubt on the victim's memory, they exert dominance and leave the victim grappling with uncertainty. This manipulation strikes at the very core of the victim's self-trust, leaving them vulnerable and more susceptible to further gaslighting tactics. In the intricate dance of gaslighting, memory becomes a battleground where the gaslighter seeks to rewrite history and distort the victim's sense of truth. 5. Shifting blame. It's your anxiety that made me do the things I do. In this insidious manifestation of gaslighting, the perpetrator adeptly deflects accountability for their actions onto the emotional state of the victim. Uttering phrases such as, "It's your anxiety that made me do the things I do," they skillfully navigate the treacherous waters of manipulation. What appears as a mere deflection is, in reality, an attempt to pathologize the victim's entirely justified reactions. This tactic serves a dual purpose. First, it exonerates the gaslighter from any responsibility for their hurtful actions, and second, it burdens the victim with an unwarranted sense of culpability for the abuse they endure. By exploiting the victim's emotions as a scapegoat, gaslighters not only evade the consequences of their behavior but also plunge the victim into a profound state of self-doubt and guilt. This subtle strategy furthers their control, leaving the victim questioning not only the gaslighter's actions but also their own emotional responses, ultimately deepening the psychological grip of gaslighting. 6. Undermining self-esteem. You need help. When a gaslighter utters the words, "You need help," it's not an expression of genuine concern but rather a calculated maneuver to erode the victim's self-esteem. This seemingly innocent phrase conceals a malevolent intent. Its primary aim is to insinuate that the root of the problem lies exclusively within the victim, thereby diverting attention away from the gaslighter's own actions and misdeeds. By directing the spotlight towards the victim's supposed instability or irrationality, this phrase systematically dismantles the victim's self-confidence in their own sanity. It's a psychological assault that chips away at the victim's self-worth, leaving them disoriented and grappling with self-doubt. Furthermore, it cleverly serves as a smokescreen, deflecting scrutiny from the gaslighter's behavior. In essence, the gaslighter manipulates the victim into internalizing their perceived deficiencies, consolidating their control and leaving the victim trapped in a labyrinth of self-doubt. The phrase, "You need help," is not a genuine offer of assistance but a calculated strike on the victim's self-esteem, perpetuating the vicious cycle of gaslighting. 7. Direct blame. It's your fault. A defining characteristic of gaslighting is the unwavering reluctance to acknowledge one's own culpability, frequently exemplified by the straightforward indictment, "It's your fault." This unambiguous declaration is a deliberate and forceful endeavor to unburden oneself completely, regardless of the factual circumstances. It stands as a formidable weapon in the gaslighter's toolkit, meticulously designed to coerce the victim into re-evaluating their own deeds and assuming responsibility for matters that are, in truth, beyond their influence. In its bluntness, this phrase serves as a blunt instrument that aggressively shifts the blame onto the victim, irrespective of the actual events. It is a potent tool that the gaslighter wields with precision, with the ultimate aim of inducing the victim to scrutinize their own actions and shoulder responsibility for events that they could not have controlled. This perpetuates a vicious cycle of self-reproach and guilt, firmly entangling the victim in the web of gaslighting. 8. Invalidating emotions. You're too emotional. When a gaslighter accuses a victim of being too emotional, it goes beyond a simple observation about the victim's emotional state. Instead, it is a calculated act of invalidation, casting their feelings and reactions as excessive or irrational. This seemingly innocuous comment is, in fact, a strategic dismissal, meticulously designed to diminish the significance of the victim's emotions and experiences. The phrase, "too emotional," not only belittles the victim's feelings but also instills a sense of shame regarding their entirely natural emotional responses. It is a manipulative maneuver that leaves the victim questioning the legitimacy of their own emotions and, as a result, erodes their self-trust. This calculated tactic aims to undermine the victim's confidence in their judgment, making them less likely to rely on their own instincts and perceptions. In essence, by branding the victim as too emotional, the gaslighter seeks to exert control over their emotional landscape, perpetuating a cycle of self-doubt and dependence on the gaslighter's perspective. 9. Minimizing concerns. It's not a big deal. When a gaslighter utters the phrase, "It's not a big deal," their intention is clear: to downplay and trivialize the concerns of the victim. This seemingly innocuous statement carries a profound impact, as it undermines the victim's experiences and emotions, insinuating that their reaction is exaggerated or unjustified. This manipulation tactic is especially insidious because it invalidates the victim's feelings and suggests that their response is disproportionate or unwarranted. It plants seeds of doubt in the victim's mind, causing them to question the legitimacy of their emotions and the seriousness of the situation at hand. The cumulative effect of this tactic is often the silencing of the victim, as they become hesitant to voice their legitimate grievances. In essence, the phrase, "it's not a big deal," serves as a tool for gaslighters to diminish the significance of the victim's experiences, ultimately reinforcing their control and leaving the victim feeling unheard and invalidated. 10. Flipping the narrative. Why are you so defensive all the time? You're attacking me. When a gaslighter utters the phrase, "it's not a big deal," they have a clear intention to minimize and undermine the concerns expressed by the victim. Despite its seemingly benign appearance, this statement carries a significant impact, as it effectively dismisses the victim's experiences and emotions, insinuating that their reaction is exaggerated or unwarranted. This insidious manipulation tactic operates by invalidating the victim's feelings and subtly implying that their response is disproportionate or unjustified. It insinuates doubt into the victim's psyche, leading them to question the legitimacy of their emotions and the gravity of the situation at hand. Over time, the cumulative effect of this tactic often results in the silencing of the victim, as they become hesitant to voice their entirely valid grievances. In essence, the phrase, "it's not a big deal," functions as a tool for gaslighters to diminish the significance of the victim's experiences, solidifying their control and leaving the victim feeling unheard and invalidated. Gaslighting, as these examples illustrate, is an insidiously manipulative form of psychological abuse. Its subtlety lies in the gaslighter's ability to distort reality, making their tactics particularly difficult to recognize and combat. Victims often find themselves in a vortex of self-doubt, guilt, and confusion, questioning their sanity and reality. Understanding these common phrases and tactics is the first step towards recognizing and addressing gaslighting in relationships, be it personal or professional. The danger of gaslighting extends beyond the immediate emotional toll. It can have long-lasting psychological impacts. The erosion of self-esteem, chronic self-doubt, and internalized guilt can lead to significant mental health challenges, including anxiety and depression. It's essential for victims of gaslighting to seek support, whether through friends, family, or professional mental health services. Recognizing the signs and seeking help is not just about healing, it's about reclaiming one's reality and voice. In a world where psychological manipulation can be as damaging as physical abuse, shining a light on tactics like gaslighting is crucial. By fostering awareness and understanding, we empower individuals to stand against emotional abuse and reclaim their truth, one voice at a time.